Now, if you would be so kind, Albert, if you could stand by with the magic, with our arms extended, for a man who writes for the Marina Times, joins us on Fridays. He is someone who can write about music, write about movies, television. It's culture that is his thing. In fact, he is the culture blaster. He comes and goes on a rainbow. Michael Snyder, everyone, please put it together for Michael Snyder. Yes.
Hey! Yeah. Come on, people. It's a special Valentine's Day edition of the Culture Blast on the Mark T. Love-In. Conveniently, I'll be reviewing a handful of rom-coms or rom-com adjacent movies. Consider this an official alternate to watching the Hallmark Channel for your romance flick fix this weekend.
What?
And to Mark, Kim, Albert, and our wonderful audience, you are all my Valentines. You give me a heart on. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, I do, and
Smashed it with your iron rod.
Oddly intrigued. All right, Michael, what's on the big list from the Culture Blaster this week?
Well, first off, I do want to say that yesterday was the kickoff of the totally groovy, mostly British Film Festival at the Vogue Theater on Sacramento Street. It runs until February 16th. You can learn more by clicking onto my conversation with Mark on the subject right here on the Mark Thompson Show channel, YouTube. As the program's very first bonus content, which I must say also features a delightful anecdote by Mark about his dining hall escapades as a student at Oxford University in the UK. It's a great story.
Hey, which one do you use, Mark Thompson?
I needed a story that was related to Britain, because it's the Almost British Film Festival that Michael was so generous to spend some time with us talking about. And I mean, I didn't need a story, but just in the moment, I thought, oh, wait a minute. I studied in England, so maybe I can tell this story. And then it was a mediocre story. But hey, look, the point is, it was fun to talk to you. And it was great that you are our first added content on the Mark Thompson Show channel, and it's all about the Almost British Film Festival, which is going on in the city.
It's mostly British. It's not almost. It's mostly.
I apologize.
I mean, really, Mark.
Really, I needed a longer segment to be able to remember what it's called.
I also cover the festival in this month's Marina Times at marinatimes.com, so check it out. Let's get down to some new movies. And again, like I said, it's kind of rom-com week on Culture Blast, and we will kick things off with Your Place or Mine, which is a pleasant, disposable excursion into feel-good diversion. After one night of passion in Los Angeles, earnest achiever Debbie, played by Reese Witherspoon, and good guy slacker Peter, played by Ashton Kutcher, drift into the friend zone, where they've remained for enough years that she has a middle school-aged son by a rebound beau. Once a would-be writer, Peter moved to New York, developed a lucrative corporate consulting practice, lives in a sparsely furnished high-end high-rise, and has become somewhat of a playa. Debbie is now divorced in L.A., and she's a buttoned-up staffer in the office of the school where her overprotected son is a student. But to advance her career prospects, she needs to take a week-long accounting course in New York City. So the friends swap cities, allowing Debbie to do the course and be on her own for a bit, and giving Peter a taste of fatherhood as the guardian of Debbie's nerdy but wise son for the week. It's sort of a road not taken, relationship not taken thing. This is not bad stuff. Witherspoon is always likable, and Kutcher recently reprising his career launching that 70s show role of Party Hardy Kelso in an episode of the sequel series, that 90s show on Netflix. He's grown into an appealing, self-deprecating leading man. Even though they're not physically together for most of the movie, I enjoyed their long-distance rapport and bought into the friendship. Aline Brosh McKenna, whose script for The Devil Wears Prada, I mean, it crackled with wit and savvy. She's the screenwriter and director here, though this is a feel-good piffle by comparison to Prada and a few of her other screenplays. It still has enough sharp edges and a game cast, which, by the way, includes standouts Tig Notaro and Steve Zahn, to carry it as a lightweight rom-com, if that's your thing, especially for home viewing this weekend. It is in theaters, but it's also on Netflix.
Wow.
How was the chemistry between Kutcher and Witherspoon?
Well, they're FaceTiming a lot, Kim, so I don't know. You tell me. I mean, one of those things is, will they or won't they be in the same room? That's one of the issues.
But that doesn't mean that it's a good thing.
Right. So a better choice as modern romantic comedies go would be Somebody I Used to Know, which was directed by Dave Franco, actor, filmmaker, and brother to James Franco, and co-written by Dave and the movie's star, Alison Brie. And this Brie is decidedly not cheesy. You get it? Brie, cheese? Oh, well.
Sadly,
anyway.
I do get it. Yes. Okay.
She portrays Allie, a reality TV show producer whose latest series is getting canceled. So she goes back to the Pacific Northwest town where she grew up to lick her wounds and see her mother, and immediately runs into Sean, the one-time love of Allie's life, who she dumped to go Hollywood. So stung, Sean, played by Jay Ellis, stayed behind and took over his dad's construction business. But Allie now has thoughts of getting back together with him until she realizes Sean is about to get hitched to Riot Girl rocker Cassidy, played by Kiersey Clemons. What Allie does in response to the news is spicy, to say the least, subverting the cliches of most wedding rom-coms. Somebody I Used to Know is written with a wry touch and acted with a sort of natural ease that elevates it above a hipster hallmark, you know? I mean, It features a heroine whose moral compass is pretty out of whack and some full frontal nudity. You won't see that on the Hallmark Channel. You won't. Anyway.
Wow. How dare you, Albert? I am... Go ahead.
Brie is pretty damn good here, and she's got some nice scenes with Danny Putty, her fellow cast member on TV's Community, here playing one of Allie and Sean's longtime friends. There are cameos of note, Amy Sedaris, Haley Joel Osment, and Julie Haggerty, for instance, but it's mostly Brie's show, although she gets strong support from Ellis and Clemens. Brie's self-centered and conniving Allie is more than enough reason to give Somebody I Used to Know a watch, and you can watch it on Apple TV Plus. It's streaming there as of today.
Wow. And the other was on Netflix, right?
Yes, it was. So you're getting a little streaming bonus for your Valentine's Day weekend, are you not?
Yes, it is. We are. What else do you have?
Okay, dumping on a movie as earnest and good-natured as Seriously Red would be like kicking a puppy, something I would never do, especially not during a weekend dedicated to the Hearts and Flowers holiday. I will say that it's a sort of well-meaning, inclusive mishmash that's carried by the gumption and the cheery countenance of its star, Crew Boylan. Krew, and it's a woman. Anyway, Seriously Red is a broad comedy from Australia written by Boylan, who's a somewhat goofy but attractive redhead. She plays a misfit woman named Red who gets canned from a job as a real estate agent and decides to pursue her true passion and become a Dolly Parton impersonator. Red has a decent singing voice and has always tried to live her life according to her heroine Dolly's warm and welcoming philosophy. Soon she's fallen in with a whole community of celebrity impersonators, overseen by a former Neil Diamond impersonator, played by the ever-able Bobby Cannavale, at a club where the shows are emceed by an Elvis impersonator, played by Rose Byrne. Maybe Cannavale and Byrne were both on vacation down under and had some free time to join the project. In any case, they bring some star power to the proceedings, which eventually involve Red's Parton, get ready, hooking up with a Kenny Rogers impersonator. Islands in the stream. Anyway, if you're looking for insights into the how and why people pursue this sort of career, this is no documentary. Boylan may not be a great comedian, but she is, like likable, and she holds your attention even if the movie doesn't really go deep into Red's issues. Seriously Red, directed by Gracie Otto, is campy, silly, ephemeral stuff, and that might be sufficient for undemanding audiences. It's in theaters and on various streaming platforms.
Wow. There's a lot going on there. A lot of impersonators, a lot of music, I'm guessing. Is there music or is it?
Yeah, there's a lot of Dolly Parton music. It's really wonderful.
I love Dolly Parton music. I hope you're not mocking it, Michael.
No, I think Dolly would be flattered by this movie. I think they offer special thanks to her. You know what? Let's get serious for one more film. We missed it last week. One Fine Morning, written and directed by the lionized screenwriter-director Mia Hansen-Løve, is a bittersweet portrait of a modern woman starring one fine actress, Léa Seydoux, recently seen as James Bond's romantic partner in the last two Daniel Craig 007 movies. This is a different genre from over-the-top international spy flick. Instead, it's a slice-of-life look at the current life of Sandra, a politically liberal radio host podcaster. Sound familiar, Mark? Who is a single mother of a prepubescent daughter, now unfamiliar, and is also dealing with her aging father's infirmities. Oh my God! Which are compelling Sandra to find professional care beyond what she can provide the old patriarch. Into the middle of this comes Clement, an old friend, and a romance sparks between Sandra and the guy who, by the way, is already in a relationship with someone else, with the charmant French leading man Melville Poupeau. Opposite a glowing, yet surprisingly light on glamour Seydoux, there is no lack of chemistry here. This has the most chemistry of all these movies between its leads. Even though the problems Sandra has to confront are by no means extraordinary, there is a grace and a verity, a truthfulness that make One Fine Morning a thoughtful and affecting film. It's in French with English subtitles. It's in theaters in various cities and opened in Bay Area theaters this past Friday. One Fine Morning, one fine movie.
Wow. I'll ding under protest. I'll ding Verity. Yeah, it would. I mean, that would be a.
I did offer clarification, Mark. I did say, truthiness. Oh, is clarification a ding word now?
No, clarification is not a ding word. I guess the ding, Albert, is now coming in as applause. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Anyway, Michael usually serves up. Yeah, you see what I mean? It's kind of weird. It's this platform is a little janky today, but Michael's usually serves up. He's good for 4 or 5, and today really only a couple. So that was so it's not really much of an issue. Let me quickly, as you say, we close in on Valentine's Day, review some of your reviews. Just make sure I'm clear on.
Sure, and I'll offer just with titles 3 of my favorite romantic movies for people to maybe access.
Oh, okay, good. Well, hold that. Then
I will.
I'll review, and then I'd love to hear that, really. One Fine Morning, the film that you just had touched on, it's in French with English subtitles. Léa Seydoux, the love interest, if you want to call her that, in the James Bond thriller. She's back, and you liked it. In fact, you think this is really a standout, wouldn't you say?
The best of the 4 films, yeah.
The best of the 4 films. There you go. Your Place or Mine, FaceTiming with Ashton and Reese Witherspoon. It's on Netflix, and you thought it was okay, is what I got from you.
Yeah, it's pleasant, and it's carried by the charm of its leads.
Yeah. Seriously Red, the Australian offering with the Dolly Parton impersonator who meets the Kenny Rogers impersonator, and they all go over to the Neil Diamond impersonator's house and have a grand old time. You actually thought it was, again, okay.
It's not great stuff, but it's not going to hurt anybody, and it's a sweet film. It's a sweet film. It's just it's.
There's never been anything like
and
this.
Where can we see it again, please?
It's in theaters today, and also on various streaming platforms like Vudu and all the ones where you can rent a film.
And someone I used to know, the Alison Brie J. Ellis Project, you, again, thought it was okay.
I liked it the best of the 3 rom-coms. Let's discount the French film.
Okay. So minus the French film, it was his favorite.
It was spiky. It was spiky and spicy, Mark. I like that.
All right. Well, you're a spiky, spicy liker. Apple TV Plus is where you can see it now. With only a second or two left, tell me your top three or three outstanding viewable romantic Valentine's Day kind of movies.
I'm not going to go into depth. Just note these titles: 500 Days of Summer with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and everybody's manic pixie dream girl. You know what I'm talking about, the one from
Zooey Deschanel.
Yes, Zooey Deschanel.
Oh, I do love her. I do love her.
A Room with a View, a sort of Merchant Ivory type movie with a young and incandescent Helena Bonham Carter.
That would have been a ding word if our ding had been working. Yeah,
maybe the absolute favorite of all my love story movies, because it's funny and it'll make you tear up, is The Lady Eve, Preston Sturgis's brilliant, I guess you'd call it a screwball comedy, but it's got so much more depth than that. If you can find The Lady Eve, it's a Criterion production. You can get it. In other words, they have a lot of lovely versions of it. And more to the point, it stars Barbara Stanwyck and Henry Fonda, and they are young and they're just electric together. The Lady Eve is maybe one of the best films of all time. One of the best.
Wow. Do you have any romantic films for Valentine's Day where the couple ends up breaking up and it's kind of sad?
That brings
maybe
to
there's
mind,
a divorce. What was that
No,
divorce movie with Meryl Streep and Dustin Hoffman, the one that started it all?
Kramer versus Kramer. I don't know.
Kramer versus Kramer.
No,
Maybe
seriously.
that on Valentine's Day.
I'm actually working on a script right now called My Sucky Valentine. I think that's going to probably.
I like that. Give me something. Give me an alternative. We always do, some sweet Valentine thing. Give me something where they're, couples in the middle of a. What was the Adam Driver film with Scarlett Johansson? That couple was getting divorced.
That was absolutely tremendous. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a brilliant actor's piece, and the couple is in the middle of it. Was supposed to be a nice divorce, and it ends up really ugly.
You're missing also War of the Roses.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. The war that's not a fair. That's fair, but A Marriage Story is the movie you're talking about, Mark. And
Marriage Story. That's really a good movie.
From Noah Baumbach, and it might be one of his best. I do want to again wish everybody happy Valentine's Day. I won't be on the air on the actual day, but this weekend is going to be a big weekend for romantic trysts, and I hope you all enjoy yourselves. And thanks for listening, everyone.
Yes, he comes and goes on a rainbow. I say farewell. The Culture Blaster. Read him in the Marina Times. He's Michael Snyder.
So long, everybody. Bye.